Hey guys, welcome to one of the final episodes of the season of Bachelor Experts of the Upper East Side. We have so much to cover this week because we have both the Fantasy Suite episode and the Women Tell All, and obviously, there's a lot to go into for both of those. And welcome back, Ross. I'm sure you've missed us here.
I have. Thank you all for welcoming back with open arms. And like Sarah said, tons to cover this week. 4 hours of Bachelor. It's incredible.
Amazing. We can't wait, so let's get started. By the way, Ross didn't find this important, and you probably don't either, but if you notice, we got a new mirror. It's back there. So
yeah, you can't even see it. I'm sure you don't care.
Yeah, probably not, but I just thought you should know. And rather than doing Bachelor news this week, we decided to throw up some of our favorite Bachelor memes and tweets that we saw throughout the week. There's two really funny ones about Cassie here. This one about her hometown, her hometown date, and then this one about her turtleneck cardigan combination, which this funny account, Normal Bachelor Fan, described a cardigan and turtleneck combo as the friend zone of clothing, which is very true.
True.
And then this really funny one about Heather, which, by the way, Ross loves.
I do. I love the little whoop-de-whoop guys. They're
at car
amazing.
dealerships.
Yeah.
And then these two really funny tweets from the dramatic episode.
Both in reference to the fence, which was the highlight of the episode. It's
and
what
really
we've all
the
been waiting
season.
for. Yeah. Chris Harrison said, sorry for dropping the F-bomb, Bachelor Nation, but clearly was not expecting what happened there.
And Colton said, at least y'all forgot about my virginity, thanks, Spence. Which is funny, but also just give it up. I don't care about your virginity anymore.
True. But this was the Fantasy Suite episode, so it did have to talk about it.
That's true. What was the timeline of events that happened this week?
We're going to talk about both the actual episode and also the Women Tell All tonight. 4 main highlights. First, Tayshia's date, which ended in a Fantasy Suite. They didn't do anything in the Fantasy Suite, though.
Yeah, no.
That was pretty clear.
Yeah, it was just chatting and I guess sleeping, but they really... make you think the next morning with their weird filming, as they always do. I just feel like that must be so uncomfortable to film.
But Tayshia did divulge a little bit that said that he was nervous. He was very nervous.
Oh, yeah, that was
hilarious.
Really funny. I also was I thought Tayshia might not want to do anything with him because she was saying how she waited till she was married and stuff, and she... had just had her husband. I don't know. I just thought...
That ship kind of sailed.
Yeah.
She's already married. There's no secrets anymore.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, so it was I was shocked to see that he basically said he wasn't there yet with Tayshia at the end of that.
Yeah.
Because I think that they have the most genuine, at this point, especially had the most genuine connection with the most to talk about and stuff. And
true. And at the time, not knowing anything about Cassie yet, Tayshia did seem like almost a front runner.
Yeah, I thought she was a front runner.
Yeah, but inevitably, we do get to Cassie.
Yeah, so we'll talk more about that later, but just in general, their one-on-one date, they walked around a market, as apparently that's what you do now on The Bachelor.
Yeah. When you get to this stage, then it's real life. No more big dates.
I guess. That's what they were doing on the, night one, though, too. So, boring date where Colton divulges the fact that he did not get her dad's permission, which, again, we'll go into it later, but I think he played that totally wrong. It was stupid.
Definitely.
Yeah. Then there's the breakup.
Yeah.
With Cassie. Brutal.
Enough said.
Yeah.
We'll talk later.
And then I guess we should really have a big question mark here in between of what is going to go down next week with Hannah G's date.
Yes, exactly. No Hannah G in this date. There's still a Fantasy Suite allegedly to happen.
Yeah, I don't see how it can at this point, but it's going to be very uncomfortable, and I think there's going to be a lot of tears next week. So. And
then we cut to Tuesday, which is the Women Tell All. It's kind of refreshing not having that as its own week.
Yeah, I don't like when they do a whole week in between the Fantasy Suite episodes and the finale because it's just not enough to carry the whole week, but it is a good bonus.
True. And lots of drama there. Lots of these catty girls getting back into their drama. Chris Harrison does a fabulous job moderating.
Oh, as always. He's great. So the first big surprise was that Cassie's dad, Mr. Rudolph, shows up in Portugal?
Yes, Portugal.
Just, the casual, just happened to be in the neighborhood, which I guess he made a joke of that, which was funny, but I guess you can kind of just do whatever you want if you have any relation to the show at all. Remember that guy Ross, who was Becca's ex-boyfriend that showed up
How could I forget Ross?
How could you? Yeah. Like, if you just know somebody and you just want a trip to Portugal, it looks like pretty possible. So hopefully we know somebody that we could create conflict for in The Bachelor next season.
True. I want to know how much on the front end and the back end was he there? Like,
That's
I doubt he just flew in, hours after that they have this conversation about his permission.
You think he just, like, went to an all-inclusive little resort on the beach
I know.
after?
He might have been in the snack tent.
But they have some good snacks there in the tent.
Sure.
But anyway, so he shows up. As I mentioned before, I think that Colton played this whole permission situation totally wrong. When Cassie, she genuinely did look shocked when she found out he didn't get her dad's permission. Which, like, first of all, good for you for not giving it in the situation. I think that it was good. And he said some really good things about marriage and commitment. And I liked that whole thing that he said. And he said he wasn't giving the blessing because he didn't think Cassie was into it. Which is fair. But also, Colton should have just said, like, it is a big deal to me, and I wouldn't propose without getting his permission, but I think, I think if I have another conversation with him when it's the end and it's just you and I, like, I think he'll give me permission, and, like, then I'll go through with it, but I won't do it.
Yeah, but also, he kind of got to that later. I think he just didn't word it right in the beginning.
Colton?
No, because later in the night, he does say, it's okay if we don't get engaged at the end of this, we can just keep dating. So I'm saying, I think that he just didn't word it right at the time, but he thought about it and gave a better answer later.
No, I disagree, because he came back and said, hey, I thought about it more, and again, it did make me upset, but I'm not, it doesn't change the way I feel.
Yeah,
so I thought that was stupid. I thought he was going to come back and retract and say something smarter, but he did not. But yes, I do like what he said. But that was during the whole breakup thing.
I know, but he still got to the point that it's okay
that
if we don't need to
dating. Sure, but he said, like, I don't care about your dad's permission.
Sure.
Which
but anyway,
never goes over well.
Yeah. But anyway, so Dad does show up, and he pretty much talks Cassie out of staying with Colton.
Yeah. It was really hard to watch.
We had some discussion on that before.
I don't know. Especially in the beginning, it seemed like he was convincing her that it was not right. Like, that's totally not fair to say if you don't know in the first 2 months of dating somebody if it's right. Like, it's definitely not right. I think he totally got in her head.
Yeah. No, he definitely did, but at the same time, it is her dad, and we as Bachelor Nation are making opinions on Cassie saying, you're ready, just go after Colton. And this is her dad, who's known her for 23 years at this point, like, has probably seen many boyfriends, and he might just know off, like he said, I could just tell in the look that you guys had when we were there. He could tell. He's probably seen Cassie date many guys that he knew she doesn't have the look.
That part of it's fine. If he's giving her a way out, that's fine. But he's basically saying, don't even continue dating Colton, because I knew in the first 2 months of marrying your mom, and you didn't, and she knew, and, like, that's basically, I really think that got in her head too.
Yeah. Like, maybe he's trying to set up Cassie's own spin-off show where it's speed dating. I either know it's the one or not, and just, like, hundreds of guys just circle in and just cycle in and out.
But, like, to be fair, Ross and I dated for 4 months and broke up for, like, a year and a half. And then we dated for another, like, 6 months, a couple months. And, like, I don't know. I feel like we didn't know, like, right away. We obviously.
True.
That's
but
why
as
we
Colton
broke
would
up
say, nailed it! After Cassie's dad leaves, then we get into the actual breakup. And
brutal.
Yeah, Cassie did not know how to break up with somebody.
No, it was long, drawn out, painful.
She broke up with him and then came back and was like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like,
Colton asked some good questions. I like that he was like, is your mind already made up? Like, did you come in here planning to leave? Like, he at least was trying to cut the cord a little bit, even though he was so upset and didn't want to. Yeah. And good for him for just saying, like, I really like you, and I really would leave the show without getting engaged. I just want to date you because I care so much about you. And she, which pisses me off so much, goes, well, I don't want you to end with not getting what you want.
Yeah.
To which he says the right answer, which is like, it doesn't matter. I don't want to marry just get engaged to somebody.
Yeah. I mean, if you tell someone, I just want what's best for you and what you want, and I respond and say, I don't want those two girls, where does that put you? You know, like,
exactly.
I'm not getting what I want.
And this just doesn't look good for the show, because it's showing that they're just attracting these girls that know, like, that they're not going to be. It's obviously fair to, like, meet somebody and date them and think, okay, this isn't the person for me. But clearly she's playing it all along to make it far.
And the obvious evidence there is that Colton openly said, listen, I want to leave here with you and we can date. We don't even have to get engaged at the end of this. Don't think of a 2-week timeline. And she's not even into that proposal.
If you can't even date him for another, 5 weeks, or I guess a couple months.
He responded to her objection perfectly, which was, she was like, I'm just not ready right now. Yeah. And he said, that's fine. Right. We can just date. And if she still walked away, she totally was not there for the right reasons.
Exactly. I mean, guys, how many people have you dated that you date them because you're trying to see if you can get there with them? Whatever. That's the point of dating.
That's so true. But after this long breakup, we get to the climax of the entire
whole season. Truly the most dramatic season ever. Thank you. This was incredible. The fence jump.
Yes, Colton scales that fence just like in a blink of an eye.
It was amazing.
Out into the countryside of Portugal.
As Chris kept referring to it the next day at the Women Tell All.
Yes.
And he is gone. It was so funny. They're like, somebody get Chris Harrison.
Oh my gosh, yeah. There were plenty of that. And just like, I don't know where he went. We lost him.
Chris, you have one job, and that is to not lose The Bachelor.
True.
And you did.
True. But also, good move on Colton's part.
Yeah.
He knew, all these girls are leaving me. I gotta I'm just pissed.
I know. I feel bad. 4 or 5 girls at this point have left him.
Plenty of guys on this show, let me clarify, would just cry to the camera and say, I don't understand. I'm unlovable. Colton's like, I'm out of here.
Yeah, so that was good. And I actually, as you know, if you've watched this podcast, I was not the biggest fan of Colton coming into this, but I really like him now. I think he's pretty goofy and seems like a real person, and doesn't just do. He just seems like a real person. I think we like him, right?
Yeah, I do too. Colton, let's be friends.
We're kind of at a standstill here where we don't know what's going to happen next. So Ross, what is your prediction for what's going to go down next episode?
So first off, Hannah G doesn't have a fantasy suite date. I think that's out the window. I think she's done. Done.
Not even to talk or anything?
I mean, it's going to be a breakup. It's going to be like, hey, Hannah, sorry, but not sorry. I wasn't going to pick you at the end of this. Yeah. I think, Hannah, pack your bags already. You're going home. Tayshia, I think it's going to be a little more heartfelt since they did sleep together or whatever. They didn't have sex.
They didn't. Oh.
But they slept together. I think it's going to be a little more heartfelt, but still, pack your bags. See you. I'm gone. I'm out of here. Hold on. You can have your predictions next. So what's going to happen? Where do we go from here? I think they're going to go back stateside. It's going to be the show ended, okay, everyone went home. And then we're going to get a little cut, some at-home shots. Colton's going to go to Cassie's...
not another unedited situation.
It could be. But Colton's going to go to Cassie's doorstep, re-ask her dad. Dad's going to be like, listen, I get it. You're real about this. And they're going to come back on the show, happily ever after, and go from there. Neil Lane will show up also.
And who do you think is going to be the next Bachelorette?
That's a tough one. I think there's a lot of good candidates. Let's just limit it to this show, because if they pull from someone in the past, whatever.
Yeah.
Hard to guess. Mm-hmm. But from this show, I think Hannah B. Miss Alabama. I think that Hannah is going to be the next Bachelorette. I think that she did a great job in Women Tell All.
She really did.
Yeah, she became really more likable.
Yeah.
She made it far enough, so she's my dark horse for next Bachelorette. All right, now to you, Sarah. What do you think is going to happen the rest of the show?
I don't know if this is what I think will happen as much as what I kind of hope will happen. I think that I hope/think that Cassie will return on her own, because I think that if Colton goes to her again, that'll be really pathetic, because she's said no 100,000 times. And I also think that based on the way Colton reacted, he's not gonna act that desperately, no matter how sad he is. So I think that she might come back and take him up on his proposal to date.
Okay. Interesting. And what about, who do you think is the next Bachelorette?
Who are okay, I think it could be Tayshia or Hannah B, I guess.
You gotta pick one.
I don't know. I think that Tayshia would be good, and she has enough personality and substance to carry a show. Not that they usually care about that when they're picking, but and then I think Hannah B also, in the Women Tell All, rounded herself out to have enough personality. I still hope they bring back Sienna. She would have been great.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Sienna. She was at the Columbia or Yale.
Yale, I think. Yale. Yeah, super smart, super beautiful. But yeah, I think it could be Tayshia, or I think it could be Hannah B.
Tia?
Oh gosh. No, she's dating somebody. So I'll probably say Hannah B.
Wow, same pick.
Same pick, even though
Kaylin, huh?
No, I think that Kaylin destroyed her chances or everybody else kind of did with the whole Bachelorette conversation that occurred during the Women Tell All. Like, I just think you can't come back from that. I think the show is getting too dangerously on the verge of everyone being there for the wrong reason. So I think they can't feed that beast. It'll be detrimental for them in the future.
And speaking of the Women Tell All, Tuesday night, it's all that.
Yes. What I really like about the Women Tell All, well, first of all, I get really uncomfortable. I hate conflict like that, live conflict. And when I really step back to think about it, it's so trashy. It's like Jerry Springer,
Oh, absolutely. And Chris just had a Cheshire Cat smile the whole time, just soaking it all in.
He just does the best job in the world. But anyway, I love to see who's on whose side. Of course, that happens throughout the show too. But you really see it in the Women Tell All because it really gives you a good idea of who is in the right and who is in the wrong. Like Nicole, who just has the poutiest face in the entire world. She seems sweet, and I'm sure she is, but a lot of girls were ganging up on her.
That's true. And the whole Onyeka versus Nicole.
Yeah,
so
they were both annoying.
They were, and sure, nothing, whatever there, but a lot of the girls were on the Onyeka side.
Yeah.
Which was very surprising.
I don't think it was surprising because I think that Onyeka seemed nice, but I thought it was interesting more how many people actively ganged up on Nicole.
True. And then she cried about it, and then she got Halo Top, which is super awkward.
It all seemed to be the birthday cake flavor. So I'm just wondering what the parameters are because the new peaches and cream flavor is delicious, and I would love that. But yeah, it was really a force.
It was.
But I did go grab my own Halo Top to eat it, so I guess I accomplished what they wanted to.
Exactly. So that was round 1. Round 2 was Demi versus Courtney.
Oh, God.
That took up a lot of time.
I was cracking up when... Well, first of all, Demi, just stop at some point. I love her. I think she's so funny. But when Colton came out and she said, what, I just want to take this opportunity to introduce you to Colton.
Oh, my gosh, yeah.
But then Courtney still said nothing.
I know. I really hope there was some heavy editing there because that was kind of embarrassing.
That's true, yeah. Which I still never do. I still don't understand why she never talked to him that night.
I don't either. The assumption, I guess, is that she didn't like him.
Yeah, I guess
it's
not.
Just I have nothing to say to him.
But as ridiculous as Demi is, again, I think in a great way, everything she does is very calculated, and she's very smart. I saw a clip.
She is.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, she's definitely quick-whipped and, can respond with something clever, usually.
Yeah.
Pretty quickly.
It makes you cringe sometimes, but it's still entertaining. And I saw an interview with her after when they were talking about who's going to be the next Bachelorette and what if they asked you. This is after the Women Tell All, and Demi said something something that I was again she has her she sees through a normal lens, I guess. So she said, "Oh, it'd be the Demi show, so it'd be great." But she's in all honesty, it's not something I think is going to happen, but I'll assess the situation if they ask me. And I was good answer.
Yeah. Intelligible.
Yes.
So then, a few other things, and they start bringing the girls up for their dramatic, tell-all. Namely, let's go with Kaylin. Kaylin talked a lot about her relationship. If you recall, she got sent home right after hometowns.
Yeah.
And like you said earlier, she kind of demolished her chances there of being the next Bachelorette.
Yeah, in a lot of ways. Just with clearly not being over Colton, I think, and just the whole...
accusations with her not being there for the right reasons on the mysterious bus ride, which, come on, cameras, we need them.
Yeah, why are you not filming on the bus
Film these girls
rides?
all the time.
I guess that's why they had the conversation.
Exactly, yeah.
But, I get it. Of course you can talk about that, but be smart. You're on a bus with your competition. Don't talk. If Cassie's your best friend, as she said, then talk about it, in total privacy.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. To that, that's just not playing the game right.
No, it's stupid, yeah. What was the last thing? Last couple things?
I don't really know. I mean, then, Hannah, the other Hannah comes up and talks and...
Yeah.
Sold America.
That's why I think she's going to be the Bachelorette, because I think that they spent a lot of time on her.
Yeah. And then Colton shows up, as they do, and...
His hair looks not the best.
Yeah. Oh,
Very long, very angsty.
True. And he didn't really give away much, though, in how this thing plays out.
No.
Which I thought, kudos to him. That's going to be tough.
Yeah.
Not give away anything. To be able to talk, but not, give a hint on something.
It's true. So this week's bonus is to finish your drink when you see Neil Lane or a Neil Lane ring. Because I think even if nobody gets engaged, I'm pretty sure he's contractually obligated to show up. And so I think we're going to see him in some capacity.
Yeah, I think that even if there's not an engagement through Colton, I think they're going to pull some audience members out of the crowd. They're going to say, hey, Neil Lane's still here with a ring.
Stay tuned, guys. We have one more week of this season of The Bachelor.
But 2 more episodes, again.
Oh, I know. Looking forward to another 4, or I guess we don't know how long these episodes are, but
It'll be 4 hours total.
It could be more, is what I'm thinking. That might be a bit much. But join us next week for our final episode of The Bachelor Experts of the Upper East Side for season 23 of The Bachelor.